We just spent some time talking about that dog mentality and the high-end level of intensity that Dillon Brooks brought to the roster, and the positive side of a coin that made him look like this team's version of Jay Crowder. But every coin has a flip side, and right now the friction is shifting from the hardwood to the police blotter. The headlines are starting to stack up, and the distractions are deepening to a point where the locker room has to be feeling the weight. And with that brings me to my segment of Who's Got the Beef? Who's Got the Beef is, as always, presented by the best burgers in town here in Billings, our friends over at Mooyah. Get yourself a burger shake and some fries. They're over off of King Avenue. And just like the first time, I got to ask the question, what are you doing, Dillon Brooks? Like, what in the world is going on? It's crazy. We have to dive yet again back into this Dillon Brooks situation because a new report has surfaced that adds a massive layer to that original TMZ file that we discussed last time. It turns out that the recent arrest wasn't just some isolated lapse in judgment, but back in January, immediately following a win over the Wizards, Brooks was clocked doing 85 and a 45. And so let's think about that for a second. We aren't just talking about a heavy foot on the gas. We're talking about a complete disregard for the standard that is required of a professional in the Valley. You're coming off a win. The vibe should be high, and instead the focus you choose is reckless energy. And I 100% agree with Wolf on this. These occurrences are a distraction. I believe I said that the first time. Regardless of what the players might say when they get behind the podium or the situation. As Wolf pointed out, when you're a professional in the locker room, if people are talking about you for anything other than your play, it's a negative occurrence. Even when your teammates are checking on you or trying to support you, the fact remains they are having to talk about your off-the-court choices instead of the defensive rotation or the next opponent. That is the literal definition of friction. It pulls the collective focus away from the work, and it places it on the individual's lack of discipline. The most concerning factor here is the pattern. Discipline is symptomatic, as Wolf said. You see it on the floor when Brooks loses his composure and racks up a technical foul and that costs the team, and it changes momentum. Now we're seeing it in the same lack of discipline that has shown up at 85 miles an hour in a 45-mile-an-hour zone. This view is simple. You cannot, if you cannot police yourself in a car, how is the coaching staff supposed to trust you to police yourself in a high-stakes Game 7 environment? Reliability is a switch you flip on and off when you enter the arena. Or it's not a switch you flip on and off. It's a lifestyle. Here is the verdict on this part two. This isn't stuff that just happens. This is a professional trust gap that is starting to widen. The Suns are already fighting through a grueling road trip and trying to measure up against healthy juggernauts like the Celtics. They do not have the bandwidth to manage a teammate who's is becoming a reoccurring headline. Brooks has defined his discipline both on and off the floor before it becomes the distraction that officially breaks the connectivity of this locker room. The beef is real. The reports are public, and the clock is ticking on Dillon Brooks to reset his professional standard. The gavel is down, Dillon. It's time to decide if you are the enforcer or the distraction.